Today's video is sponsored by the Midea Flexify French door air fryer oven. Okay, if you have been watching for a while, a lot of you know that my stove and oven combo is broken. It has been driving me nuts for a long time, and it's my own fault that I haven't replaced this whole unit yet. But someone came to the rescue. Midea reached out and they sent me their Flexify French door air fryer oven, and I'll be honest, I'm obsessed. Like, if I can figure out a way to just knock this whole thing out and just put a stovetop and have some extra counter space under here, I might do that because this thing's bananas. Today, I wanted to show you one that I tested that the recipe itself just blew my mind. Now, I love bread. I've been trying to get more protein lately because I'm lifting, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing a little strength training. But let me get back to it. Protein bread. So the recipe I'm gonna share with you today is a super simple bread. Super simple. It's only a couple of ingredients. It's high protein, 100% plant-based, and it's so easy, you could do it in a small countertop air fryer oven. Now, this recipe is from Bora over at allpurposeveggies.com. This is a super great white bread that she has that can be really adapted. I'm gonna just adapt it slightly because I like some seeds and things in mine. But to get the full breakdown of the weights and measurements of the ingredients, you can go over to her recipe. So let's get started. First off the bat, I am gonna use some bread flour. I'm using an unbleached, enriched artisan bread flour, and I'm gonna do this in a stand mixer. Now, I'm also gonna add just a little extra protein to this by using some gluten flour, about 2 tablespoons, or about 20-ish grams. Then we're gonna add some sugar, 3 tablespoons of sugar here, and some salt. Now, at this point with these ingredients, I'm just gonna toss this into the stand mixer. We'll give it a quick mix before continuing. This is the secret ingredient, extra firm, silken, shelf-stable tofu. Now, this whole box right here, going with the extra firm, is an additional 7 grams of protein. We gotta add yeast. We're gonna be using some instant dry yeast here. Completely forgot about the yeast. I like my bread to be a little yeasty. I know, like, baking is usually very exact, but bread, I think, is a little looser. That's okay. At this point, I have my water, my room temperature water. We're just gonna mix this together on a 2, and then we're gonna add in this water about a tablespoon at a time until this whole thing kind of comes together. Stop this guy. I think this is about right. This is a pretty loosely together bread, but it's still kind of wet, so it might be a little bit too much, but we'll see. I think I'll still be okay. Now, we do need to add some fat to this. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I like to do a little flaxseed in mine, I like the flaxseed. This is gonna add maybe another 5 grams of protein total to this whole thing. So we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons. And you can add other seeds. I might add just a small amount of poppy seed and a small amount of sesame seed. All these seeds is gonna give a little bit more protein. Really, the mouthfeel is gonna be really good. I love adding all these different seeds to it. Just kind of my thing. You don't have to do any of this. Okay, so at this point, just gonna close this up, put it back onto a 2, and I'm gonna let this knead for about 8 minutes. So while this is kneading, I live in Florida. The house is fairly cool because of the air conditioning. It's kind of going into fall. So I really always need a warm place. Traditionally, I do it in the oven, but lately with the oven being broken, I can't do that. So I'm gonna warm up the Midea air fryer oven. I'm just gonna set it on the warm feature. It's about 100 degrees. So I'm just gonna turn that on for a few minutes to get it up to temp. And then by the time I put this in to rise, it should get down to around the 80 degrees to sit there and rise and actually proof. And it's gonna work out perfect. Okay, so that thing's done. We're just gonna dump it out. I'm gonna flour my work surface. I'm gonna knead it, get it together really quick. Now, this is just a regular sized mixing bowl. I'm just gonna throw in some oil, toss the dough ball in there, cover it with a little bit of oil. I mean, you could see this looks awesome. I'm gonna throw this on a sheet tray that this came with here. And we're gonna toss this into the air fryer oven. Because it's nice and warm. Normally, I'd have to warm up my entire stove to do this. And that just took like a minute. Now I just popped this in and I'm gonna let this rise for about an hour and a half, which is something I don't think I've ever seen you be able to do in like an air fryer before, at least not one that I've ever used. I mean, this thing has 10 functions. So you can air fry, roast, bake, broil, toast, pizza, reheat, slow cook, dehydrate, and warm. I cannot wait to use the dehydrate feature. And it has a huge 24-quart capacity, which is how I'm even baking this bread in this oven. All the air fryer ovens I've had are either flat or square. This thing's wild. You can see why I'm obsessed. Along with being super flexible with temperature and time controls, I was able to start this out at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But my two favorite parts are one, the Cyclone Air Fry, which allows for 25% faster cooking and using 90% less oil. I've been using that quite a bit. And the French door design, which makes it super easy to get food in and out of the oven and makes it incredibly easy to clean. So gang, go search for Midea Flexify or click the link in my bio to get 24% off. This thing's normally only $169.99, but right now until December 2nd, you can get it for $129. Midea, thanks for sponsoring today's video, fixing my oven problem, giving me a cool new air fryer. I am just obsessed. It's been about an hour and a half. This has proofed. I think you can see. Oh yeah, I mean, it is definitely grown in size. So I just still have some flour on my cutting board here. I'm just gonna dump this out, kind of just punch down a little bit, and then all we're going to do is cut this into 4 pieces. Now you don't have to do this. I just liked the way that it came out in the original recipe by doing these 4 even pieces. So we're just gonna roll that out just a little bit. Bop. Is just roll these out into little rectangles. And then I'm going to get my bread pan ready. It's just a little bit of oil on the inside. So then all we're gonna do is just drop that in, and then I'll kind of settle, the weight of it will kind of settle in. Let's move on to the next one, and we'll just repeat for all 4 of these guys. So at this point, we're gonna drop it back into the air fryer. The air fryer is still warm, you know, and we'll let this proof for about 40 minutes or so. So this is done rising. We're gonna pop this in the oven. I'm gonna bake it for 10 minutes and then tent it and then bake it for another 10 minutes. After that, we're just gonna give it a test, and we need to bring it up to about 190 degrees Fahrenheit. I ended up cooking it for about another 10 minutes, so 30 minutes total. You could see this looks amazing, has a really nice bread sound to it. I'm gonna let it cool down on a rack, and then we're gonna give it a slice, and you could see like, oh my gosh, I mean, this looks amazing. This is a straight up white bread, loads of protein. I haven't figured out the numbers yet. I'm gonna figure those out real quick. I do want this to cool down overnight. Figured tomorrow maybe I can toast it up. We're just gonna make a really basic sandwich. This came out perfect, perfect. I love this. Okay, so we're gonna do kind of like an untraditional peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and fruit. It's just much better, in my opinion. Top it off with a little bit of cinnamon, and this is perfect. Okay, that's our sandwich. Protein bread, and look at that. Okay, let's get Monica. Okay, baby.
Cheers. Delicious.
I know, right? I know it's hard because you didn't get to just taste the bread on its own, but like the bread, okay. If you can run your down, none of the sandwich, but just of the bread.
Yeah, so this is great. Like, it tastes just like bread. I would never know that this was like tofu or anything like that.
Tofu bread.
Yeah, it's really like fluffy, like kind of toasted fluffy bread, almost like a sourdough.
It does have some like sourdough aspects to it. It didn't get crispy all the way through. Like, it stayed nice and like soft in the middle. I mean, honestly, I know we're gushing over bread, but it's really good bread. I think it's really
good.
I love bread too, but it's really, really good bread.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And it's high protein.
Now, how was the carbs?
I mean, it's gonna be very similar in carbs. I'm gonna do all the nutrition stuff and just put it like right here, because I haven't worked it out yet. I will work it out, but yeah, I mean, it's I'm
gonna have this after our run tonight.
Yeah,
Dinner.
Super good. Well, there we go, baby. That's lunch. I mean, I'm just gonna make it. I don't know why I just didn't make us each one of these.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, there we go. Tofu bread.
Yeah, you'll never know it's tofu.
Yeah, you'll never know it's tofu. I mean, it's so easy. It's all waiting time. That is it. So gang, make sure you don't miss out. Click the link in the description to grab Midea's Black Friday discount and enjoy 29% off with the code MideaOven24.